Welcome to EMH for Training video number 11, Case Data Forms. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can fill out any case data forms that you might have for your client, as well as give you a bit of an example of what types of forms we can build and what types of fields that we can have within those forms. So we're going to start in our client file, and we're going to use this purple case data tab here. Because we want to stay within our client file. If I use this gray case data tab up here at the top, just remember that that's going to take me out of the client file, and then I would have to enter in my client information. But because I want to start out of this file, I'm going to use this case data tab here. That's going to bring up a gray search area. So again, if this client has a lot of forms, I can narrow down to search for a specific one, or I can view it in the list down here. But if I wanted to add in a new one, I'm going to use that green circle with the plus sign to add in something new. So the date field will populate to right now. Again, that can be changed if you're backdating it. You can always just click on the date field to open up the date and time. There is also an expiry date field. So this is an optional field, but if the form that you're filling out does have an expiry date, you would be able to enter that in here. The nice thing about the expiry date field is that you can use it to narrow down a search. So you'll notice in the search screen here for case data forms, we have an expired checkbox as well as expired after and expired before. So that can be really useful to narrow down forms that either have expired or are coming up to be expired. But if the form that you're filling out does not need an expiry date, you don't have to fill anything in that field. You do have to have a program as well as a worker. We have another attachments section here. So this is another area where we can upload an attachment directly with this record. So whether we have maybe a paper version of this form and we just wanted to upload it and keep track of it electronically, we can use this attachments button here. Keep in mind, it's always going to be saved with this case data record, but it's also going to be saved in the main attachments section. So you'd be able to access it in either place. And then once we've picked a program, then we can pick from the type dropdown. So these are all of the different types of forms that we've built that we would build for your agency. So this is just a demo list. We can build pretty much any form you send to us, we can build electronically. So if you're used to filling something out on paper, it can be really useful to have it electronically created so that all of the different fields and such can be reported on, and stats can be pulled from that information as well. So I'll just show you a quick example of an assessment form that we've built for other agencies. It might look familiar, but it's just going to give you an idea of what types of fields we can have. So we can see the first field here is just a single select drop-down. Here we have some multi-select checkboxes with different options. We have date fields. These three fields here, you'll notice already populated with information. So we can build it with fields that will populate client information such as name, date of birth, gender. We can also populate things like address and phone numbers, just to save you a bit of time. And then scrolling down, this is just an example of an assessment. So I can pick from my drop downs, I can pick the score. I also have text boxes that will expand as I type. So you can type in those boxes as well. Depending on the form, we can have that automatically total the options as well as give different scoring. We've built lots of different forms, so feel free to send us any forms that you have and we'll take a look at building them for you. Again, just like contacts, I can click on save in order to save my work. And then it will tell me the changes have been saved, and I can still make changes. So I can continue on if this is a really long form and I just wanted to save my work. I can click on save as often as I need to, and I can also use the authenticate button. I'll just show you an example of another type of form, just a quick consent form that we have, so we can have different text. as well as electronic signatures. So you'll see that in this field, I can click on that to open up the electronic signature, and I'm just using my mouse to sign, but you can use anything. So whether you have a touch screen, either laptop or phone, you can use a stylus. Like I said, you can just use a mouse. You can also buy computer mouse that looks in the shape of a pen, so that can be really useful for getting electronic signatures as well. And then I'm just going to put a date in the date field and go ahead and authenticate this case data form. It's really important to make sure you're authenticating forms, especially if they have signatures on them, as now you can see that once it's been locked, no changes can be made.